We are in the eye of the storm. The mid-season trailer we got last week, maybe the week before last. This is the first season of this franchise, so it's going to be really, really short. That mid-season trailer was jam-packed. Between that, how the episode ended, and then a preview for next week, the Real Housewives of Rhode Island is going to be full steam ahead after this. So let's get into it. It is day 2 of the Newport trip. All the girls are waking up and getting ready for the day. Alicia, she's talking to her dolls, which is very fitting because this house gives is haunted by ghosts and dolls and everything else running around these halls at nighttime. JoEllen, she's catching up with Gary, then Kelsey comes in and joins her, and they start talking about last night when Kelsey got into it with Rosie. Rosie is also talking about her confrontation last night with Kelsey with her husband, Rich. Rosie has been sick all night. She's been throwing up because she's so stressed by all the confrontation. Rich is being a supportive husband and just talking her through things and just let her know, like, don't sweat her. She's knocking you for a house and she doesn't have a house. She's knocking you for your job and she doesn't have a job. Pretty much all the things that Rosie was saying in her confessional last week. So what it's giving is Rosie didn't think of it until Rich said it. Then she said, ooh, I'm going to use that as a read. And Rosie, you've been having a lot of confessional reads. You have time to rehearse them then. I hope you have time to rehearse some reads for the reunion. And when you do throw them rehearsed reads out at the reunion, I hope you have time for rebuttal once the girls respond to your rehearsed reads. I'm really worried about Kelsey because she gives me very funny, not Kelsey, Rosie. I'm really worried about Rosie. Half these girls look the same, they sound the same. I'm getting there though. I'm really worried about Rosie. Rosie has some very funny confessionals, but you have time in confessionals to do these things. I don't think she's going to fare so well at the reunion. The ladies, they get ready for breakfast. Everyone heads down. They're coming down one by one. Ashley's son, Dawson, is sick, so she steps away to check on him. Alicia, she texts Rulla to see if Rulla is going to join them later. Spoiler alert, Rulla is not going to join them later, but we do see her at least. Kelsey and JoEllen, they show up last and things are awkward. And what do we do when things are awkward on the Housewives? We start the drama. Alicia, she kicks everything off just by asking the girls, how are we feeling after last night? Kelsey tells Rosie that she was genuinely trying to be nice when she said what she said. Rosie lets her know, well, it didn't feel nice. It felt backhanded. Now, the way I'm gathering and trying to understand Kelsey's personality, I truly believe that that was her version of being nice. Like the girl said later on at the conversation, they're not the most nurturing girls when it comes to, fostering relationships with everybody else. They believe in tough love. So I feel like that was Kelsey's version of being nice. Nonetheless, it does not take away the fact that it was backhanded. And whether you're trying to be nice or not, if you would have said it to me, we would have had a problem. Ashley jumps in after Rosie says it didn't feel nice when Kelsey said she was generally trying to be nice. She jumps in and goes, well, after that, you came up to the room and you brought up the past. But Kelsey brings up a valid point. I only brought up the past because you asked. You asked me what I thought Rosie was lying about. Kelsey is not the type of girl that's going to back down. She's going to answer the question. I mean, think about it. She heard them talking about her. And let's even take it a step back because you're talking about, oh, you came upstairs and brought up the past, but y'all were talking about her and she overheard y'all and came in and confronted y'all. So I don't blame her for that. I'm on Rosie's side with the rest of it because I'm like, girl, this is none of your business. But hey, Kelsey heard someone talking about her. She didn't back down. So Ashley tells her, you think these are lies, but just because you think these are lies doesn't mean that they're a lie. So Kelsey then says, well, she doesn't know who Rosie is, and she thinks that things are always changing. Rosie lets her know, if you don't want to believe me, it's fine. It is what it is. Then she gets in her confessional and calls her a high-end squatter and delusional. Rosie's delivery is always just funny. The way she delivers her reads, it just makes me laugh. But like I said, girl, I hope you can back this up when it's time. Liz jumps in and interjects, and she talks about how Rosie puts on kind of like a brave face at the confrontation, kind of like that news reporter face of like, I'm gonna hold it together. And Liz just wishes that she could do that because Liz is the type of girl when she has an issue, she has to address it right away. Alicia jumps in and tries to help out with an analogy of Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. And she goes, you know how Beyonce has like Sasha Fierce and she has like that alter ego that she puts on when she's in another situation. Liz was not having it. Liz was like, girl, you talk too much. Let me finish. Stop talking. And Alicia felt some type of way because it came up later on. She made a little side comment when she was getting in the car with JoEllen. She was like, after Liz snapped on me, I needed to get out the house. So we didn't get anything now from it, but I feel like something is going to come of this later. I just have a feeling. Liz wants Rosie to speak up for herself, but Ashley thinks that the girl should just be more nurturing to Rosie. And when Ashley said that, you could have sworn she told those girls to give up all their money and inheritance and all the money they're going to make in the future. They're like, nurturing? What is that? Ah! Like, they're like, we are not the nurturing people. We believe in tough love. After they say that, Ashley starts crying because she feels so bad for Rosie, and the breakfast ends with no resolve. The girls are walking away. Rosie is just acting like she's on her deathbed. Alicia and JoEllen, they realize this, and they tell Kelsey, like, look, Rosie is feeling weak. She looks defeated. You need to go talk to her. So they talk. During this talk, we made a little progress. Kelsey admits that her tone is harsh, that she has an attitude, and that she doesn't know Rosie well enough to approach her in certain manners and to gauge how she should approach her. Rosie responds just by letting her know, look, when you say all these things, it's going to cause me to shut down. When you're saying I'm fake, my life is fake, I'm a liar, it does not make me want to open up to you, which makes sense. You're talking so bad about me. Why do you want to get to know me? And why would I want to get to know you? So they both decide that they want to try to get to know each other, and we get some resolve for now. Ashley, she breaks any remaining tension if there is any left, and she gets the girls to hug. She's in her bikini. She has those haunted dolls, and I'm like, y'all keep messing around. These ghosts gonna be swirling around here, and y'all gonna start fighting again. But after that, the girls split up. In one group, we have JoEllen and Alicia, and then we have the rest of the girls together: Rosie, Liz, Ashley, and Kelsey. They're staying back at the mansion, and they have this giant inflatable slide. Liz is not feeling this slide, and when I tell you, Liz was in full grumpy cat mode this episode. She's like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not this type of girl. What is this kitty mess? Give me some champagne and a boat. And she got it later, at least. But as much as I kind of wasn't surprised that Liz didn't do it, I was surprised that Kelsey did. Because Kelsey gives me also, I'm a champagne girl. I have this rich man. I have, staff that pulls the seeds out of lemons for me. So she doesn't seem like the type of person that's like, oh, I'm going to go down this giant inflatable slide. It's not her deal. But she did it, and they had a good time. So, Kelsey, you get a point for that. Rosie and Kelsey, they convinced the strippogram butlers to join them because those butlers looked fake. They looked like, when you have the fake cops come in and they're like, did somebody call the cops? It was given that, but the butler version of it. It was just like, did somebody order room service? You know? But Liz was not feeling that either. Like, she's in full grumpy cat mode. And so she left because she didn't want to be around them flirting. She felt out of place because she's just older and she has a more mature mentality. Now, my thing is this, Liz. Old people flirt too. Look at the girls on the Real Housewives of New York, the old Roni, okay? Sonia, Ramona, Luann, them girls were like in their 50s and 60s flirting with some young men. I'm not saying you need to do that, but don't make it seem like, oh, this is just a young people thing. Old people do it too. I see it when I go on vacations, especially when I go on a cruise, child. But when I see it on vacations, I see it everywhere. Okay? Old people flirt too. Just because you're old doesn't mean you lose lust. But you didn't have to flirt with them. Ashley was not flirting with them. Rosie was, even though she got a husband at home. I wonder how he's gonna respond to that. But you could have just hung to the side with Ashley and just chill. Don't let them ruin your day out in the sun. But she goes into the mansion, goes into her room, and she's laying there. Ashley comes in and check on her, and she sees the softer side of Liz. Liz is just like, look, it's not my type of thing. She's like, but I enjoy you, Ashley. They have a little moment where they laugh, and it was cute, and then we move on. But back outside, they're talking to Kelsey and Rosie, still flirting, talking to the butlers. And Rosie gets in her confessional and tells Kelsey she should add Boris to the pile of boyfriends that she has. Then she goes, although Boris doesn't have any money, so you probably wouldn't want him. It was funny, but again, Rosie, I hope you're ready for the reunion. That was hilarious. And then it's just, she does it in that news reporter voice. It just has me always just cracking up. Now, we go over to JoEllen and Alicia. They're getting out the house because of all the fighting. Alicia still feeling some type of way because Liz snapped at her earlier in the day. The driver, he tells them a ghost story. And I swear he kept saying, I don't know if it's because I watched the episode more than once or I'm just hearing things, but I swear every time he kept telling the story, he's like, swear to God, swear to God. And then the ghost flew past the window. I swear to God, I swear to God. And then I heard laughter. Swear to God. I'm like, okay, you're telling the truth. We got it. So they get to a park, they go for a walk, and they open up about their lives. And so you start off with JoEllen being sent away by her mom. JoEllen talks about how her mom is not maternal and she was sent away 3 times because her mom felt like she was promiscuous. She wasn't doing drugs. She was good. She had good grades in school, but her mom just felt like she was a promiscuous girl because she had big boobs. The first time she was sent away was in 7th grade. She was sent to drug rehab. She was sent there for a week before they realized, girl, you don't belong here. And then they sent her away. They sent her back home. The second time was a little over a month. And then the third time in 9th grade, she was gone for over a year. Her mom apparently did it under the guise that she was going to a boarding school, but it was not that at all. She was in there with criminals, kids wanting to harm themselves, predators, and she breaks down and she says that she felt like death was better than living with her mom. And it was such a raw and real moment. And it opens up my eyes to all the stuff that JoEllen is doing now. It ain't always right, but I understand why she is the way she is. And even with all the stuff that she's gone through, she's not the worst person in the world. There are people on reality TV, on these other housewife shows, who will live better lives and are real trash people. JoEllen has a genuine good heart. She just has some trauma. And I respect her for opening up. Alicia, she jumps in and she talks about how she remembers. I remember in the last episode when JoEllen opened up about this, she was at the table and she was like, "Yeah, I remember when you went away." And so she echoes how everyone noticed in high school when JoEllen and Jen left, but nobody said anything. It was one of those things that was just unspoken. I'm sure people probably whispered because it's Rhode Island, everybody talks. And even in high school, everybody gossips in high school. So I'm sure everyone was talking about it and whispering, but it's just one of those things that just never came up. Now, Jen. So JoEllen did an interview on Two T's in a Pod. That's with Tamara from OC and Teddy, who used to be on Beverly Hills. And she opened up more about this and she talked about her situation, but she also talked about Jen and how Jen was sent. I'm assuming JoEllen stayed in Rhode Island. Jen was sent all the way to Utah and she was sent to like some religious camp where they had to sleep outside and use the bathroom outside. And so it's crazy how they both gone through these terrible things. And Jen still kind of looks at her mom with indifference, like, look, mom is mom. She's not going to change. Whereas JoEllen is like, no, like what happened to us was messed up. At first, when JoEllen had been opening up on the previous episodes, I thought it was one of those things where JoEllen was the one that was being singled out because she even said that she felt like Jen was the favorite. But girl, Jen got sent halfway across the country and was in the mountains in the cold dealing with some craziness. So, not so much a favorite, it sounds like to me. But Alicia, she opens up about her relationship issues because of her father leaving. And she says that she looks at her daughter and wonders how a parent could do that. And so she starts to break down and she starts crying. And then she also makes this one statement. And it made me feel for her too. All of this made me feel for both of them. But she tells Joelle, and she's like, who's going to walk me down the aisle if I get married? Because my father just walked out my life. And typically the father walks the bride down. And so they both agree that they're going to break the cycle. And when I tell you, bravo, ladies, for delivering realness, for opening up your lives, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, the chaos, and letting us see it all. Rhode Island, you get tens across the board. You have your flowers. Like, y'all have definitely earned it. It was such a raw and real scene. I loved it. I loved it. So they get back in the car and they get ready to head out. And Rulla texts Alicia back saying that she's not feeling well. JoEllen feels like Rulla has a lot of health concerns, and we get a flashback of Rulla missing one of the other outings. I think it was the wine tasting, saying she wasn't feeling well. And let me tell you something, JoEllen, a man can stress you into the grave. So it does not surprise me that Rulla is always not feeling well. That man is probably stressing her out. When you get stressed, she's probably having a mental breakdown. She's probably getting sick. Brian is probably wearing her out in that house. Now that's not why I don't think she came on this trip, but let's get there now. Because then we fast forward or fly over to Rulla's house. Okay? Brian is trying to be the concerned husband. He's bringing her some tea. He's coming with the kids to check on her. I'm like, oh, give me a break, Brian. Okay, give me a break. Rulla gets in the confessional and she lists off all these symptoms about how her head was hurting, her big toe was hurting, her hair was turning gray, she had a toothache. All this stuff is happening and she had to go to the hospital and they found nothing. Let me tell you why Rulla didn't come on this trip. Rulla didn't come on this trip because she didn't want to give Brian time to go see the mistress. She had to get sick and stay home. That way Brian knew, okay, Rulla's at home. I got to come back home on time. And I got to take care of her and I got to tend to her. You not fooling us, Rulla. That's what it was. So JoEllen and Alicia get home and the ladies get ready for an evening on a boat. And Liz said, this is my time. She said, forget all that childish stuff. Give me a boat and some champagne. I'm the type of person I can do both. I love just doing activities. I love being outside. I love excursions. I love activities. Just give it all to me. So I will do the slide and I will be on the boat sipping champagne and then a jet the next day. Whatever I got to do, I'm there. Ashley, she checks on her son in the car and he's not doing well, but he's not doing terrible. And so they get there to the boat place, to the dock, and they take a dinghy over to the main boat. And JoEllen tries to hook the dinghy driver up with Jen to get her off her husband. They get on the boat. Look, JoEllen's husband's cute. So I don't blame her. You got to watch out for these ladies, especially in Rhode Island because everybody hooking up. They get on the boat. Ashley finds out that they're taking Dawson to the ER and she leaves the boat. She's crying, of course, but this time she has a reason to cry. So it's understandable. But she's crying. She's telling her, she's like, I'm so sorry. They're like, no, girl, go check on your son. Ashley is sweet. And at the beginning, I was like, I don't know about her being on here. She's from Virginia. I'm from Virginia. But I don't be crying like that all the time. Girl. But she's grown on me. And we need different types of characters. Everyone can't be wild. Everyone can't be fighting. We need some outspoken people. We need some comic relief. We need the crier. Like, you need these different roles. So I think Ashley is still perfect for this show. Now, how long that's going to last is a whole different story. Because I don't see her having longevity in this, though. Because it's going to get, I'm sure, with how crazy this season was, the rest of this is going to get even crazier. So she leaves. The girls are drinking and having fun. Then Kelsey turns to Joe and goes, "Oh, I think you had sex with my ex on a boat." And it was a threesome with another girl. And so Kelsey gets in the confessional talking about how they were having sex and JoEllen was loud and everyone on the boat heard it. JoEllen gets to her confessional. I was like, "Honey, it wasn't on a boat. It was on land." I said, "I know that's right. Correct the facts." And Kelsey then says, "Well, you had sex with his brother too." And so production asks JoEllen, "Well, who was better in bed? Which brother?" And JoEllen had the perfect response. She said, "Ask Kelsey. She should know." Because Rhode Island is so damn small, everybody is sleeping with everybody. Everybody knows everybody's business. I'm sure some of these people, I mean, we got Mary Cosby and her grandfather on there, so it ain't too bad to say. I'm sure some of these people are related and they don't even care. Oh my gosh. But they have a good time on the boat. It's a nice little sunset cruise. I love being on a boat. I know it's May right now, but I need like summer in full, like, I need summer in full effect. Because when I get on a boat, I also want to get in the water too. And the water is not warm enough yet in May, depending on where you are. The girls get home and they wind down. And Joellen, she gets a video from a friend of Brian canoodling with some heifer for like 5 minutes straight. And by heifer, it was the mistress. All the girls, they look at the footage and they debate on who's going to tell Rulla. I don't think one person should do it. I think they should all sit her down as a group because if one person does it, she's going to deflect regardless. I feel like you shouldn't even tell her. But if you're going to do it, y'all all need to do it. Because I feel like when she has a group of people coming to her about it at a table, no husbands, no Brian to defend himself, then she has to confront it head on. But we'll see how this plays out. I really hope they don't make Alicia do it because that is not going to go well. It'll be hilarious, but it's just not going to go well. My whole thing is, I still think they need to let it go. But Joellen, she was on Watch What Happens Live, and she said that once Brian called her job, the gloves were off. Fair enough. But stop trying to guise this as concern then. Just be like, you called my job. I'm going to expose you now as hard as I can. Because I don't blame her. You're trying to mess up my income and how I feed my kids. We're going to have a problem. The gloves are off. But it's like, I hate this whole, oh, I'm so concerned about Rula, so I'm going to keep pushing it, even though she doesn't want to hear it and she's still dying. She says she wants proof. You know she don't want proof. Y'all all know that. Alicia has said it. Liz is questioning your intentions. Let's drop the act. Just be real about it and be like, you came for my job. I'm coming even harder for you now. I was trying to be concerned at first. I was probably gossiping a little about it, but you didn't have to call my job. Keep it as that. But the episode ends with the girls trying to figure out how they're going to tell her, and we get a crazy preview of next week. I am really excited about this show, y'all. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye, y'all.